made an unprecedented bet. It paid off with an ACC invite, a growing school, and now a playoff berth. What's 200 million between friends? There's a quote in it that said, "There's a sort of beautiful purity. Winning is more important than money." Yes, beautiful purity and SMU football were uttered in the same story. Chris notes, and this is the part that's fun for me, in the story that a guy named by the name of, let me get this right, Thaddeus Matula. He is the guy who is the director of Pony Excess, the 30 for 30 about Dickerson and James and everything that was happening duplicitly at SMU back in the 80s, that is in the early stages of making a sequel and also a scripted version of the original doc. I mean, that's got a chance to be Friday Night Lights. That IP, SMU in the 80s? Can you make a series out of that?
I was just about to say, can you string that out for a couple seasons?
Doesn't that scream Netflix or something like that? There's so much there.
Yeah, that can't be a movie because there's just too much. Like, you've got to do a lot of world building to make it.
Man, I'm in for that.
Because then, yeah, you could do a couple of seasons and then in however many years, just bring it to 2024. And this SMU, how this SMU was created with just what's $100 million between buds. Like, bleep your television money. We'll be fine. Like, I saw someone reporting from SMU's practice that they are playing Mo Bamba as they get ready to go to Penn State. Like, we talked at the beginning of the show, like, how's everybody feeling? How's everybody's confidence with their college football team before the first round of the playoffs? And everybody else, I feel like, feels pretty good. Ohio State, ugh.
Yeah. I think that the team feels good. I bet there's a pretty decent belief there. Something that you're going to want to watch, that I will be interested in. I mean, you would have no interest in at all, but something I will have an interest in is what the application rates look like at SMU if they keep going here. If there is success in football, what does that look like? SMU has 12,000 total students, just 7,000 undergrads, 4,000 postgrads. So it's relatively small school for sure. Does that get nuts over the next 5 to 10? Best example I can give you that, there's a buddy of mine, his daughter's a senior, and she applied to a lot of kids, man, are applying to a lot of these southern schools, but a lot of it has to do with football. And one of the places a lot of them applying to are Clemson. Like, a lot of people, my niece, actually, I just saw her at Christmas this weekend. The place she's trying to get into is Clemson, that they're really trying to get into Clemson, that there's that. Well, why is that? Football. They were good at football.
Nice weather.
It looks like a fun place to be. So SMU, while it's not as warm as it is in Clemson, South Carolina, in Dallas, they could get a real bump for this in terms of their student body.
When you asked about their attendance and what it'll look like in the next 5 years, if it'll increase, and it will, I thought you were going to ask, you were interested who Craig James was going to be played as. Who's the actor for that role?
I'd have to ask. You know who would know would be like NBC, like he watches that show on Netflix with the kids in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Is it Outer Banks?
Yes.
That one. There's got to be some kid on that show who could play Craig James. I don't know who the young guys are.
I was thinking Glenn Powell.
Right, but like Glenn Powell's 40.
Glenn just CGI him down.
I need 18-year-old Glenn Powell. That's what I need for that. Is that I need him at 18. That guy needs to play Craig James, right? And then the Eric Dickerson character. See, everybody that I'm thinking of is they're all too old.
Right, that's where you recruit like the up-and-coming actors who are of that age.
Yeah, find the next guy to do it. But if it's done right, and this guy did the documentary right, so my hunch is it would be done right, that's pretty good. The other thing that's going on right now, do you guys see this? That there is a bunch of momentum to, I saw President Trump tweet this over the weekend. Is it to eliminate daylight savings time,
yes,
or is it to make daylight savings time permanent?
The clock is where the clock is at standard time for the entire year.
Okay, but I thought Rubio, when he was doing it, was to make daylight savings time permanent.
I don't know if it was Rubio, but I know there was a push.
It was Marco Rubio
last
for
year
sure.
to get it to that the entire year, and I think it died in one of the chambers. Like it didn't. It was presented. There was some hoopla about it, and then it just never went anywhere, which is typical. But
Which one does Trump want? Does he want standard always, or does
standard
he
all
want,
year round?
Which one are we in now?
We're in standard.
Okay. Oh. The one where it gets
I think
dark
people
early?
want the other one.
I want the other one.
Yeah, I think people want the other one. Most people want the daylight savings time all the time.
Which two states don't participate in daylight savings?
Arizona.
Correct.
And
It'll make sense once I say it.
Nevada?
Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can't be 7 hours behind. That's alarming when you're there. We were there for spring break, and, when you get up at, because your clock's all screwed up when you first get there, and when you get up the first time and you're up at, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then, we were there for March Madness, and the games were at, 6:30 in the morning. The first-round games are, 6:30 in the morning. It's a lot to wrap your head around. So, yes, that does make a lot of sense. Nate Silver, who does a bunch of analytic political stuff, says eliminating daylight savings time is a terrible idea. I ran the numbers. It would cost the average American 40 minutes of waking daylight per year in the summer alone. Yeah, I think we want more sun at night. Right? Isn't that what we all want?
Yes. Especially right now.
Yeah, I don't care about it being dark in the morning. It doesn't have any effect to me. I mean, I'm up. It's dark when I get up anyway. What difference does it make if it's dark until 8:30 instead of 7:40 or whatever?
The American Academy of Sleep Medicine has pushed for a switch to permanent standard time for several years. So they're talking about the body clock there and how it would be better if it was a permanent standard time.
All right. Yes. Yeah. So Trump wants to get rid of it. You're right. I thought he wanted it the other way.
Because I did too.
He supports an end to daylight savings time. I thought he was going the other way with it.
Well, he's a politician. He might. Who's to say they haven't, flip-flopped before? Couldn't flip-flop again?
He supports an end to it. Yeah. So he calls it. I think it's the other way. I think we're backwards on this thing. I think you want more sun in the summer. Is what you man? That would suck. If it was dark instead of being dark at 9 o'clock, it was dark at 8 o'clock in the summer.
Yeah, not for that.
No, me either. All right, we NFL playoff picture. 3 weeks to go. This will demand a little bit of an extended look, probably tomorrow on the program. But there's a lot of things that are starting to crystallize here when it comes to the postseason. And the one thing that you can do, no matter you do AFC, NFC, you can look at both sides and you can start to project out how this is going to go. And one thing that I mentioned it a few times over the course of the show, it felt like a fait accompli that Kansas City would be the 1 seed in the AFC. I'm not so sure anymore. They have an injured Patrick Mahomes, and they have a really challenging they play Houston, Pittsburgh, and Denver the last 3 weeks. Buffalo, who is 2 games back at Kansas City but owns the tiebreaker, has the Jets twice, and they have the Patriots. So it's a really nice spot for Buffalo, who has the tiebreaker, that they could end up as the 1 seed in this thing. So that's something to pay attention to a little bit there. We talked a little bit about the AFC North machinations with the Steelers and the Ravens, and how critical Saturday's game will be between those two teams. In the NFC, it's kind of similar. All along, we thought Detroit, but now all of a sudden them and Philly have the exact same record. Currently, Detroit has a tiebreaker, but Detroit's finishing stretch is much more difficult than the Eagles is. They still have to play Minnesota. And Minnesota's tied with them at 12-2. Their last 3 are at Bears, at Niners, and Vikings at home. And they're battered. It's all of a sudden, it felt like forever it was going to be Kansas City and Detroit is the one getting those buys. Now I think it's uphill a little bit for both of them. Really uphill for Detroit, considering Philly's stretch, and could be uphill for Kansas City, too, based on strength of schedule and the fact that Buffalo already has the tiebreaker. All right, time for a little Shelley time coming up next. 2 minutes from right now, we'll get an update. He's down in Tampa, isn't he? Is that where he is?
Correct, yep.
He's
Jackets
in Tampa
Lightning tonight.
We'll see if he's had a little burn steakhouse or not yet. That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TIGER to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TIGER to 321-321. That's TIGER to 321-321.
Snip, tuck, fold, crease, tuck, tape.
It's not that complicated, Dad.
Wrap, crease, tape, twist, tape.
Ohio Lottery scratch shops make great holiday gifts and play holiday bonus millions with a 200 times multiplier and a $2 million top prize.
Fold, crinkle, crinkle, fold.
Plus, you can enter non-winning tickets in My Lotto rewards for a second chance to win up to 1,000 times the price of your ticket.
Please crinkle, gate, fold, ring and curl, squeeze.
The best part, Dad? No wrapping required.
No tuck, fold?
No tuck, fold.
Give the gift of fun. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and condition regulations. Play responsibly.
Toyota-thon is on. The perfect time to shop for a new SUV with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through January 6th, get any new Highlander or Grand Highlander with 5.99 APR financing up to 72 months, including hybrid models, with $1,657 per thousand borrowed, subject to approved credit through TFS. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. The Gloves. Shelley time.
All right, efforting Mr. Shelley with a little bit of Shelley time. All right, this is where I'm at right now. I think that we all have to get used to 11:30. Us, guests, everybody, because we were so used to 33 because it's been that way for so long that we got to get back to 30. So we're efforting Jody. He is down in Tampa. The Jackets is saying great. I mean, they've lost 7 of 8. And that's, you are what your record says you are. They're still somehow not totally buried in the East, but they have lost 7 of 8. They're doing the goalie roulette a little bit, picking one every time, which that's a little awkward as well when you think about what they're doing there. So that's not great. I did see a really interesting piece because one thing that we've been told here for the longest time is, oh yeah, the system's good. The young guys are good. Porty wrote an incredible story today where he visited with scouts and had scouts who are not Blue Jacket scouts analyze Blue Jackets young players. So Chinnikov, Marchenko, Fantilli, Johnson, get their view on what those players are and what they project them to be now. And if you're curious, just kind of like how the rest of the league thinks of this team and its talent, and certainly he picked 3 different scouts and they kind of had him weigh in on all of the young players. Really interesting read in The Athletic. I recommend you read it if you're curious in terms of like where this operation is at.
And I think that where it's going is a positive place. I think that, yeah, they've lost 4 in a row. They're going up against a Lightning team that's won 2 in a row, and I think like 4 of their last 5 and is full of stars, and you will probably make life very difficult for whomever is netminding tonight for the Jackets. But I think when you listen and you read from other people in evaluating who the Blue Jackets have in their pipeline, who the Blue Jackets are developing right now, it sets up for, as long as they can get the right guy to do that developing. And I think Dean Evison is the right guy to do that developing. I think Don Waddell is good at, just looking at who can fit in this puzzle that they want to put together for something you could see in 2 or 3 years successful. But there's got to be a lot of patience to that. And I know that's the one word that Jackets fans absolutely do not want to hear right now.
Well, I do think they're okay hearing it if it's done right.
And probably not done by Yarmo.
Yeah, I mean, he had all the faith in the world at the beginning, but like you are at a point as a fan base where I think if this could be done once right, they'll take it and they'll suffer the slings and arrows through now to get to a point where they're something real down the road, and that's really where the patience of it all is. I think one thing we always talk about with the Blue Jackets or the Buckeye basketball team is be relevant in the middle of January, be in the mix when the football season is over around here, and then you got a chance to cross over into the things that we care about to get us through January and February and get us through the winter months. I think the jury's out on both of them. I don't know if either one of them is going to play, games that I don't know. If you're not a diehard hockey guy or gal, are you going to be locked in to watch this team muddle through 500 play?
No.
I don't know. And I think the same can be said. I mean, like, the Buckeye basketball team plays tonight at 8 o'clock against Valpo on Peacock. That's tough. That's tough. I don't know what that crowd will be like. If I wasn't doing this, are there still, or did they already leave?
I think they're done.
Yeah. So then probably won't have won't be a lot of that. So then you say to yourself, well, like, if I wasn't doing this job, am I seeking it out? Am I trying to go to Peacock and find it? Am I going to remember that it's on? I mean, that's just the realities of everything that isn't Ohio State football in Columbus. That's the thing, because it's the casual. Everybody's got your diehards. The Crew have their diehards. The Blue Jackets have their diehards. Buckeye basketball has their diehards. They're all fighting for the casual sports fan in Central Ohio. That's the job. That's where the money is. That's where the attention is. That's where the payoff is. It's in the casual sports fan. The diehard folks, Bake is not going to miss a Blue Jacket game. He's not. Loves it. Part of the process, is going to watch all of it. There's people. Timmy Hall is not only because he does the network post game, he wouldn't miss a Buckeye basketball game. He's going to watch all of it. Bone is not going to miss a Crew game. He's going to watch all of it. Where's it cross over? How do you get the casual fan to lock in? That's their job.
Yeah, not get crushed, at least. And the Blue Jackets, they started off that way, where they were competitive in a lot of games, scoring 6 goals in wins, and that's exciting hockey. Just a quick note, you'll get Jet Greaves tonight in net against the Lightning. So if he can acquit himself well, then I think that's just where you go from here on out, because I think, to your point, if you've got young, exciting players that people want to see more of, offering them that, I think, provides something that might cure if you're not winning.
Yeah, obviously the best news this season so far is Kent Johnson. I mean, he has transformed who he is as a hockey player. The ceiling on what he could be is much higher than what we thought it was coming out of last season. And that, to me, is, so far, that is the biggest positive you can say out of this team. He looks like now that he could be potentially an all-star player here. So we wouldn't have said that a year ago. Fantilli he's drinking out of a fire hose. He's having to go up against guys, 6-8-year vets, and he's getting swallowed up, much like Kent did when, last year. Like, that's part of it. So there will be a point where he gets acclimated, and we'll kind of see where it is. But for the gross majority of you out there who are listening, you're in the casual fan thing, and you're wanting to jump on a bandwagon that inspired you to jump on it, and that's the job.
You had mentioned last week, it might have been, that your kids are in on the NBA Cup, which has the final game tonight.
I think they like the courts
and the uniforms, and
yeah,
just the different look.
It's tonight?
Yeah.
Who's in it?
I think they're doing it at the Sphere. I want to say it's the Milwaukee Bucks and opponent. I don't know who's coming out of the Bucks and Thunder.
It's not set up yet, or it is set up?
It's the final is set up. It's tonight at 8:30. Big Boy ABC is going to carry it. Bucks and Thunder from T-Mobile Arena.
Well, that's pretty smart for them to put it on ABC because it's live sports. So that gets you a chance. You get a little chance to be excited. But I was unaware that was tonight.
You could do it at the Sphere.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where you would put it.
That seems like a win. Yeah. I'm in. Any video I've seen of like you two at the Sphere, that seems to hit when they're there. It seems like that's a pretty cool place to do things.
They kept showing it last night on the Monday Night Football broadcast. Like every time they would cut in and out a commercial, it wouldn't be Allegiant, it would be the Sphere. Like, well, that's your landmark.
Yeah.
That's your new landmark.
Doesn't James Dolan own it?
He does.
Which sucks. Yeah.
How does... Yeah.
I don't know how he owns it.
He owns like that, like Radio City Music Hall, Madison Square Garden.
I knew he owned that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We got a little bit of Shelley time. It's going to be quick. Truncated edition with a little bit of Shelley time. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Sorry, the coach is going long there with us. He was great, but
you're all right.
Missed you a little bit.
Well, I missed you too, buddy. Jet back in net tonight. Do I have that right?
Jet's in. Yeah, Jet's in. Harris is in for Jack Johnson. He took a stick to the eye. He's fine. They just want to give him a little more time to heal.
Okay.
Tampa's on a run. They're playing well. Cam Atkinson looks like he is not in for the Lightning, but they're getting Hedman back and Chernak. So this is a team that's playing well and getting some of their big boys back. So should be a good test tonight.
Not a good look. Not necessarily what the doctor ordered for us, as we've lost 6 of 7, 7 of 8, something like that. Is there a common thread here, Jode, with the losses as they've stacked?
Yeah, I think that the goal scoring a little bit has dried up. You could see a little bit of fatigue that last game, the second of a back-to-back. Zach Werenski is such an important factor. It caught up with him a little bit, I thought, last game. I would expect him to be a force here tonight. Not really a common theme. There's details they're trying to work out within their game, little areas in the defensive zone that can't be missed, some opportunities to get a little grittier in front of the net. Some of the goals they scored in that 7-6 win against Tampa were gritty, so they've referred to those today. Look for a little more jam from a guy like Voronkov. I mean, this guy's 6'5". I would think he's got to start playing that way. So those, there's little things like that now need to happen consistently as you get into the kind of the teeth of the season here.
What do you make of what Dean is doing with the goalies?
Yeah, so Tarasov, he hasn't been playing well, and he needs some time to practice. I like what he's doing with Jet. What he's saying is, the goaltending needs to be better. It's been fine. It's been good enough to win, but key saves and key moments are critical, and Jet's earned this. He's played 2 really good games. He needs the result. The team needs the result.
Yeah.
But he's coming in and he's pushing for a spot. So, no one's grabbed it, Bo. So, hey, give the kid a shot here. And Dean is assessing the entire organization. So that's part of his job. So, Jet looks good.
He has, and I like what he said. Like, he's earned it. I mean, that's kind of where it is. That's kind of, I think that's the thing. And I just said this before you hopped on. Like, I think the fan base understands where you're at as a franchise, and I just think what they want is it built once right, and they're willing to, if you suffer through some things, to figure out who can play and who can't. I think the fan base, which is one of the best in the NHL, is here for it. Don't you gather that when you talk to fans?
I do. I think that they're happy with, of course, everyone wants results, but
sure.
It's a team they can identify with. They work hard. They're in your face. They're in every game. But now the competition from within the locker room is a key to drive it to the next level, and the goaltending position is critical. You look at any team, and if you look at the playoff picture, which I know it's early still, the East is still wide open for the wild card. There's not a team that suffered like Ottawa and Buffalo that had to take a step this year who is not out of it. The Blue Jackets are right there too. So, the quicker you can learn like this team has and find their identity, the better off you are in the long run here. So I agree with what you said.
Pick to click. Who do you got tonight, buddy? Obviously a stiff test.
I'm gonna go with Voronkov again. I just think that this guy, there's little battles within the game, and if you're 6'5", you should win most of those battles. Sometimes players get away from what they are, and we know him as a skilled guy, but he's got to be effort and battle first and let the skill come out when he needs it. And it's an important piece on that top line. So, he's again with Fantilli and Marchenko. That's my pick. Is Voronkov, to me, is a player that can have a bigger impact, not just a goal here and there, but win battles, keep plays moving.
Very good, buddy. Thanks for hopping on with us. We'll look forward to the broadcast tonight. Thanks for your time, pal.
All right. Sorry I was late. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
No worries. A little bit of Shelley time for you on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Time for 3 things on a Tuesday. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
1, 2, 3. The Daily Coach Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by Credit Union of Ohio and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's a daily show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Light Auto Glass. As your team's getting ready for the college football playoffs and the uniqueness that comes with that, signing day occurred also, and I know that it certainly across the board seemed to be a great infusion of talent.
Yeah, very unique. Right now, we got the portal open. We have signing day right in the middle of all this, and it's just unique. You know, recruiting in some ways has changed a lot, other ways hasn't changed much. But in today's day and age, we want to make sure that we're still bringing in young players and developing them so that we can continue to be stable and, be a long-term program, not a program that just brings in a bunch of transfers and then changes the next year. And so a big part of that is recruiting high school players. And I think we have a great group coming in. Certainly have a strong presence from Ohio. These are the type of guys that, are going to be, multiple years in the program, want to graduate as Buckeyes, and we know that's very, very important. So, I think the staff worked hard. I think Mark Pantoni and his staff worked really, really hard to put this group together. And we've got some good leadership already. They've been building relationships in this class for a while. Tavian St. Clair and Devin Sanchez kind of both led it up on the offense and defense. And so we feel great about the group that's coming in.
Another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Ryan, as you dealt with signing day and continue to deal with all the things involved in all of this, I've asked you about this before, but the calendar this time of year has to be a real challenge.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. And the good thing is that once signing day was over, you can almost put that to bed and then focus on your team. The challenge there is the transfer portal. And so that, as we know, has become a big part of recruiting, not only with your own team, but also with other teams. So working through that. We're not on the road in December. That's new as well. And also about the calendar is not as much of a lead up to the first game. Usually in bowl season, you have almost a whole month to prepare. This is a quick 3 weeks and really 2 weeks since we've known we're playing Tennessee. So different that way, but something we've been planning for.
There's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Here we come a plumbing, we are known as Apex Pros. If you're plumbing,
honey, there's carolers at the door. I'm not sure what they do.
Your furnace goes out, there's no one near. Apex Pros comes running.
Something about furnaces and plumbing, I think.
If your furnace dies or your pipes aren't clear, electric trouble in your home, Apex Pros are near.
No, it's not very good, is it? Come in.
Heating and plumbing, electrical too. Apex Pros knows what to do.
No, not really Christmassy to sing about plumbing and furnaces, is it? Oh, yeah, they got that guarantee. What's that called?
5-star guarantee.
Are they listening out there? Can they hear what we're saying? Yeah, I probably should just lock the door.
Apex Pros, Apex Pros, Apex Pros, Apex Pros.
You did Apex.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
The Daily Fan poll asks, how much of your holiday shopping is completed? None, some, most, all are the options. 40% of you out there have completed most. 19, some. 14, none. 26, all.
All right. I'm in. I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. And then we did our own on Do You Trust? How did that turn out?
Yeah, so that was at 971 BFS earlier in the show. We're about 234 votes in. 75% of you do not trust this Ohio State football team.
Yeah, we got to get on the trust tree by the time we get to Saturday, kids.
I think that happens.
Yeah. I think it'll be safe, pal. You got to be safe. All right, time for 3 things on a Tuesday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
All right, number 1 for me, we reviewed the final episode of Yellowstone earlier in the show. And look, the thing became a mess. He was trying to do, he's got like 6 shows that are all airing simultaneously, like Yellowstone, Lioness, Tulsa King, and Lawman are all airing at the same time. I just don't even understand how you could do that from a workload standpoint. So you understand how it got kind of messy as it did in the end. And then there was money behind it, right? Because all of those series are Paramount Plus, and then Yellowstone has to live on Peacock because of a previous arrangement. So I just wanted to say this, though. I am thankful, and I will say over the course of the series, he got the cowboy stuff mostly right. He took a great deal of attention to the detail in the cowboying part of it. And it was a weekly while it aired. There was at least 1 and as many as 5 to 10 moments in the course of a series when they were doing the cowboy stuff where it reminded me of my youth. And he got that stuff right and deserves to be commended to that. There wasn't anything you watched from a cowboying or ranching side of it in terms of the day-to-day that wasn't authentic. And there's been a lot of shows where you could sniff it out right away, and he got that part right, deserves a great deal of credit for that.
Did he do a lot of the writing for that show? Because, boy, he saved himself some zingers.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
Last night was pretty good from a Travis Wheatley standpoint. This from the Department of Corrections. The Ohio State women's basketball team, ranked 11th in the country, looks to improve to 11-0, hosting Grand Valley today at noon. I had said today at noon. I had said in the update that it was today at 11. Well, an hour later is actually when it will tip from the Schottenstein Center. Again, that is in advance of tonight's Ohio State Valparaiso tip, which is still 8 o'clock.
Why would they not goes back to back? Like have the women play at 6 and the men after?
It's a good question. But there aren't again, I don't think the students are on campus anymore.
Yeah, so. At noon on a Tuesday?
Yeah, they're going
December
out to
17th?
They're going out to Stanford on Friday.
Odd. I don't understand it. I don't understand what's going on with men's and women's college basketball scheduling. I don't get it.
I'm caught in a conundrum right now. So Friday, I work 6 to 8 running the board for the Buckeyes show. And then I also have immediately following that a joint birthday party / Christmas party taking place right at 8 o'clock. Do you know what else is taking place at 8 o'clock on Friday night that might be of my interest?
Your boys.
Indiana State Championship.
Exactly. Indiana and Notre Dame. Now, the weird thing is, one of the guys who is in this joint birthday party / Christmas party is an Indiana grad. They do this thing this thing is huge for them. They have Indiana classmates who aren't even from Ohio come in for this party every single year. And
you should be good.
You're going into the belly of the beast.
But what I'm saying is that it's going to be in the basement of a bar. I have to be situated really perfectly to really follow the game. I'm not even going to be talking to people. I'm just going to be watching the game. I got to figure out where I'm watching. Now, I think the game might be over at halftime, to be completely honest. So I might just go home and watch that and then come back when I'm confident in the victory. But I got to figure something out because I got a few things to do all happen at the same time.
I like that plan. Show up late. Maybe it's already already been decided. Number 2 for me, speaking of, and Cole just articulated it, this college football playoff thing is really screwing up the holidays, man. Like, when all of a sudden you got Buckeye game on the 21st, you got a game on a Friday. We got a Christmas party on Friday, huge Notre Dame fans, and that's going to be on while there's a Christmas party, let alone that you got to do it again like 10 days later. The number one job this offseason from Petiti and Sankey has got to be figuring this calendar out, because this is a mess right now, and I think it's going to be reflected in attendance of these games.
We were talking nostalgia on the show earlier today, and it brought up memories of City Center during the holidays. Well, it brought a great smile to my face reading from the Dispatch today. In the first quarter of 2025, the legendary Chef O'Net Kitchen in Upper Arlington is set to reopen about 11 months after it closed. That's a place of many a mornings, many afternoons, many an early evenings spent eating.
Every now and again throughout the winter, I'll find myself on Google Images looking up pictures of my dream vacation spot. Now, I'm surprised I haven't mentioned this yet because, well, I guess it's not that close to Montana because it's pretty north up there, but Banff National Park.
I've been there.
I was about to ask, has anybody been there? If you hadn't been there, I'm sure you knew people who went there. Is it the greatest place on earth?
It's pretty good. It's about 3.5 hours from where I grew up. Vacationed there a lot as a kid, skied there a lot. Yeah, it's stunning. It's truly stunning. Yeah.
Is the wilderness angle dangerous? Like, are there wild animals that you got to be?
It's the Rocky Mountains, brother. It's not a zoo. So, yeah, have your bear mace. Be loud while you hike. I was always more fearful of mountain lion than grizzly bears. Grizzly bears you could hear coming. Mountain lions would simply drop from a tree and murder you. So those were the ones that bugged me a little bit more. So just be loud. Be loud and have bear mace, and then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Number 3 for me, I didn't have this. It's very obvious Deion Sanders is staying at Colorado. He landed the top transfer in the market. He flipped that 5-star quarterback. And we talked to a guy from Colorado at the start of the season. He's like, yeah, he's gone, no doubt. He's not gone. He's coming back. He's going to make a career of it at Colorado. I did not see this coming in any way. One other thing on Colorado, just to put an exclamation point on Travis Hunter, first-team All-American all-purpose player, first-team All-American corner, and second-team All-American receiver. What are we doing? He's Ohtani.
Taylor Lautner, does anybody know who that is?
Yes.
So,
I think so.
Was he in the Twilight series?
Yep.
A very handsome actor has a podcast, and he had Aiden Hutchinson on said podcast because apparently he's a Lions fan. Aiden Hutchinson says, quote, I'm at the mark, and I'm on track for my goal of returning for the Super Bowl. I keep telling all the boys when I see them in the facility, I'm like, you guys just got to get there, and I promise you I'm going to be back, end quote. Trouble is, Lions probably aren't getting there because there are so many other injuries, but I love the positivity, and Aiden Hutchinson landed in the perfect spot.
We may have to vet and verify this. I am 99% sure Taylor Lautner married a woman who also has the name Taylor. More on that later. But up next,
Googling it.
I'll try to make this long so we have time. Rothman and Ice, Baker's going to be in for Colin. Tyvis Powell is going to join them at 1:30. And speaking of Baker and Tyvis Powell, they're going to be doing this show together with me on the board next Tuesday while Reeser and Bo are vacationing. So it'll be a fun combination.
There you go. Enjoy that. Ryan Day coming up immediately, however, with his press conference. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com. Use the promo code JustSports for a welcome bonus of up to $100. We have bowl action on our TVs tonight. West Virginia, 4.5-point underdog to Memphis. West Virginia's plus 150 on the money line. Expect a lot of points tonight. The over-under total is 58.5 for your Prime Sportsbook Action Update. I'm Scotty Vegas.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.